Alright, so now so far everything that you have done is actually passive things. So how to read, how to check, how to analyze. We are not changing anything in the original list. But the thing is, in real projects, the data gonna change over the time. So you cannot maintain the original data in the list. You have to go and do changes. And usually we have three types of changes. You might get a new data and you have to go and add it to the list. Or maybe after analyzing the data, you find some old data or let's say bad quality, and you would like to go and remove it from the list. Or you say, you know what, let's go and fix it actually. Let's go and correct it. So you're gonna go and update the content and the data of your list. So again, either adding, removing, or updating your list. So now we're gonna learn how to add new items to the list. And this is very important in real data projects. You will be having always a new data like new customers, new products, and over the time you will be adding new items and expanding your list with new data. So let's go. Okay, so now we have our new value and we would like to add it to the list. The easiest way, or let's say the lazy way to add it to the list, is to say, you know what, just throw it to the end. So for that, we use the method append. If you use it, Python gonna go and add this new item to the end of the list. And maybe later you want to add another item and you use append, then Python gonna do the same thing. It's gonna go and add it to the end. So it's like you are sticking and stacking items always at the end. Okay, let's try this out. Again, we have the list of the letters and I would like to add new values at the end. So for that, we have to use the methods, and as usual, we start with the variable name, then dots, and our method is append. And here all you have to specify is actually the value. So let's say I'm gonna add an X at the end. So if we go and execute it, you can see we have now a new member in our list and exactly at the end. And now we can go and add another one, append. This time I would like to go and add Y. So let's check this out. Now in the output, you see we have Y at the end of the list. So this is really easy. Now with the append, actually, that was really lazy one where you just throw things at the end. But sometimes you would like to add specific value at specific position. Maybe you want to sneak a value in the middle or at the start. And for that, we have another method called insert. Now let's say that I would like to have it between the A and the B. For that, you have to specify for Python actually two things. The first one is the position number, and this is totally normal. If you want to change anything at specific position, you have to tell Python where. So now in this example, we want to put it at the position number 1. And the second thing, you have to tell Python which value you want to add. So if you use this insert, Python gonna put your value between the A and B exactly at the position number 1. Now another one, let's say that you would like to add a value at the start of the list. So again, we need the two informations. The position number gonna be the 0 and the value itself. If you do that, you will be adding new value at the start of the list. So with that, as you can see, you have to do more stuff now. It's not lazy like the append, but you have now more control on where exactly you are adding your items. And by the way, my friends, if you like this type of content where I go and start sketching the different concept of Python and show you how things works behind the scenes, you will not find this type of content in any other course because it takes a lot of time sketching, editing, and working on it. That's why if you like this type of content, then support the channel by subscribing, liking, commenting. This can really help to reach other people like you. And by the way, don't forget to check out my blog. I write weekly topics about data. Alright, so now let's go back. Okay, so let's try this out. Let's start with adding a value at the start. So letters, dots, and here the method is insert. We need two things, the position number. So at the start it's gonna be 0, and then the value itself. So let's say X. Now let's execute it. And as you can see, we are having now the X at the start. Let's say I would like to add something between the B and C. So again, letters, dots, and now insert. So now we have to find out the index number, but you have to be careful. Now we have a new list because we've changed it with the previous insert. So now by looking to the output, X is 0, 1, 2, and then actually it is 3. So I have to add a 3 here. And this is really important to understand. Those kind of methods are changing the structure of our list. So it is directly affected and changed. So let's go and add here a new value like Y and execute. Now, as you can see in the output, we have Y between exactly B and C. Okay, so this is how you deal with the insert. And of course, we don't have to forget about our 2D matrix. So how we can add stuff here? Let's say that I would like to add one more list inside our list. So that means I need one more row. In order to do that, we could use append. So what we're going to do, we can say matrix.append. And all what you have to do is to give your new list. So let's say I'm going to say X, Y, and Z. So let's check this out. As you can see, it is appending completely new row, new list inside our matrix. And if you don't want to add it at the end, you want to add it maybe at the start, then you could use as well the insert methods. So we want it at the start. That means we give it the position number or the row number, and then you give your list. So this time maybe A, another A, and third A. So let's try this out. Now look at this. Our new list, new row is actually at the start. So it is very simple. This is how you can add a new list and rows to your 2D matrix. Now this is easy, but now let's go to something a little bit more complex. Let's say that I would like to extend this list here with a new member. I would like to add at the end an X. So how we can do that? Let me just remove this here. And I say, you know what? I want X, and I can still use the append because I want to add it at the end of the list. So now if I leave it like this and execute, look here in the output, you can see X is actually a new row or a new member of the whole list. But this is not really what I want. I wanted actually a member of the second list. So what happened here? Now by looking back how Python stores the data, with this syntax currently we are targeting the first list and we said append to it an X. So Python did create a new pointer to a new object called X. So that means Python is actually extending the whole list, the first objects. But what we want is to extend actually the child, the sublist. And if you want to do that, then you have to target the correct list because Python works with one level at a time. So in order to fix it, you have to specify which list by adding the brackets and saying the row number 1. And if you do that, then Python gonna target the correct list and extend it exactly where you want. So let's try this out. I'm gonna go over here and say, you know what? Go to the index number 1. So with that, Python is targeting this row, and then we are saying append to this row an X. So if we go and execute it, you can see in the output it is correct. Now X is member of the second list. Now let's try one more thing. Let's say that I would like to target the first list. So let's say I would like to add a Z at the start. We can do that. So matrix, and now we are targeting the first row. So that means the index is going to be 0. And now we cannot use append because I want to add it to the starts. So we're going to go and use the insert. And now we have to give the index position where the new data going to be inserted. So I want it as well to be inserted at the start, and my value going to be Z. So let's try this out. Now look at this. We have a new value at the start of the first list. So as you can see, it is very simple. Just do it step by step and be careful what you are targeting, in which level you are doing the changes. All right, so with that, we have learned how to add new items either using the append. This is very simple. You want to add an item at the end of the list. So you are stacking new things to the list, or you use the inserts if you want to have more control. You want to sneak an item into a specific spot. So this is really important. In each real data projects, you will be having new data over the time, like new customers, new products, new orders, and you have to keep expanding and adding new items to your list. Alright friends, so now we're going to keep talking about how to change the data of our list. So now instead of adding something new to our list, we're going to talk about how to remove items from the list. And this is something very common that's going to happen after you analyze and explore your data. You might find out some old data or maybe duplicates that makes no sense. Or in worst scenario, you might find some bad data that is corrupting actually your list. So you want to go and clean up your data by removing those bad data. And of course, there are different ways and methods on how to remove things from your list. So now let's dive in. Okay, the first option and the easiest one, if you say, you know what, I would like to get rid of everything. So I would like to delete and clear all the items, and I would like to get back to an empty list. So for that, you have the method clear. If you use it, it's like you are hitting the reset button, and in one shot, you would like to remove all the items. So sounds fun, right? Okay, let's try this out. Again, we have our nice list. And I would like to go and remove everything. I would like to have it as an empty. So all what you have to do is to use the method clear And of course, we don't have to pass anything for it because we are just now destroying. So let's go and execute it. As you can see in the output, we are getting back our empty list. So this is really straightforward. It is always easy to destroy things compared to building them. But now sometimes you don't want to go and throw everything away. You want to pick one specific value and remove it from the list. For that, you have two methods. The first one is removing by value. So all what you have to give Python is the value that you want to remove. And if you do that, Python gonna start searching for this value. And once it finds the first match, it's gonna go and remove it. And after that, it's gonna stop. It will not keep searching for a match. So in this example, it will not go and remove the second B, only the first match. So this is how you remove by value using remove. Okay, so let's try this out. I'm gonna go and change something here. We're gonna have a list like this, A, B, and again A, in order to have duplicates. Now, I would like to remove by value. So I would like to remove the A. So all what you have to do is to use the method remove. And of course, we need the value that you are searching for. And in this example, we want to remove the A. So let's try and execute it. Now, as you can see, Python did remove the first A because this is the first match. So Python found it and removed it from the list. And look at this. We still have an A at the end because Python is removing only the first match. And if you say, yeah, I would like to remove as well the second A, then you have to repeat the instruction. So you have to say twice remove A. So let's try this out. So look at this, we have only B. The first instruction removed the first A and the second one removed the second A. So this is how the remove function works. Okay, moving on to the last way. If you say, you know what, I really don't care about the value. I want to remove something that is sitting on specific spot. So I'm more interested on the position number. Like I would like to remove the first item or the last item or exactly something in the middle. And for that, we have a method called pop. So now, for example, let's say that I would like to go and remove the first item. So again, here we have to tell Python exactly the position number. So it's going to be the index 0. So if you give pop 0, Python gonna go to the first position and remove it from the list. So as you can see, Python is not anymore searching for a specific value. It is going directly to the index number and removing it. And if you want to remove something from the middle, all what you have to do is to specify the index number. And there's something here really cool about the pop. If you don't specify any index number, the default gonna be always the last item. So if you say pop without giving any number, Python gonna go to the last item and remove it. And one more thing that is really interesting about the pop is that it will not just remove the item, but as well, it's gonna return the removed item to you. So with that, you have the chance to understand what is removed and as well, maybe to do something about it. So this nice method, the pop, is actually doing two things. It is changing your list and as well, it is returning something back to you. Okay, so now let's play with this method. I would like to go and remove now the last item. So as usual, letters dots, and our method gonna be pop. And since it is the last item, I don't have to specify anything. It's gonna be the default. So let's try this out and execute. As you can see, we are getting now A and B, and we don't have the C. But as we learned, it is not only removing, but as well, it is returning the removed item. So let's try this out. I would like to go and create a new variable to store the returned value. So I'm gonna say removed, and then I would like to print it. So print removed item, double point, and then our new nice variable removed. So let's try this out. Now, as you can see, the removed item is C. This is really cool. So it is changing my list and as well returning. Now let's say that I would like to go and remove actually the first item. So this time we cannot leave it empty. That's why we're gonna go and specify the first index, it's gonna be 0. And if you go and execute it, you can see we don't have any more A and the removed item is A. Now let's try something else, like something in the middle. Let's remove the B. It's gonna be the index 1. And if you go and execute it, look at this, we don't have B and the removed item here is B. So it is easy. And of course, we have to talk about how to remove stuff from our matrix. So that means I want to remove by value. So we're going to use the method remove and then specify the whole list. So A, B, and C. Let's try this out. Now look at the output. We don't have this list anymore. So we are removing by value. Okay, let's take another example where I want to say, you know what, let's go and remove the last list. So now since we don't care about the values, we are removing by the position. So I want to remove the last one. We're going to go and use the pop. And since it is the last one, we're going to use the default. So I don't have to specify anything. So let's try this out. And with that, the only list that is inside my list going to be this one here. So we removed the last list. Okay, so this is how you remove a complete row, a complete list. Now let's go to the next level where I want to remove one specific value. Like for example, I would like to remove this one value, the E. How are we gonna do it? We're gonna say matrix. Now, of course, we have to tell Python where to search. Now, if you say remove E and then you execute, you will get an error. So what happens here? So now if you look to this, we are trying to remove a string value from the big list. But here there's an issue. The big list has pointers only to an object that is list. So we are not pointing to any string value, and that's why you are getting an error. Python is telling you you cannot remove string from this list. But now if you want to do it correctly, you have to go to the child, and then there you tell Python to remove the E because it is pointing to string values. So let's see how we can correct this. The issue is over here. We are trying to remove E from the whole matrix. Well, this is wrong. I have to specify for Python exactly in which row it should search. So now it should search from the row 1, right? So we're gonna go and say 1, and now we are saying from the row 1, go and search for E, and if you find it, remove it, of course, for the first match. So let's execute it. Now look at this. In the second list, we don't have anymore the value E. Okay, so let's try another thing. I would like to remove the first item from the last row. So I'm not removing by values, I'm removing by position. So let's say matrix. Since I'm saying the last row, I can go and use the -1. So it is the last list in the matrix. Or you can go and use the 2, of course. And then I will not go and use the remove. This time we're going to use the pop since we are interested with the position number. So I want to remove the first item. That means the 0. So I am actually over here at the G. Now look at this. This is our last list, and we have removed the first item of the last list. So it is nice. Let's go and remove the last item of the first list. So now in order to do it, I want to target the first list. It is always the index 0. And now I want to remove the last item. So that means I'm going to use pop. Since we are removing by position and we are removing the last item. So that means I don't have to specify anything. As you can see, in the first list, we don't have C. So we removed the last item from the first list. You just need little practice and then you're gonna get it. All right, so with that, you have learned everything on how to remove things from your list, either by hitting the reset button where you wipe out the list and you remove everything from the list, or you say this is very extreme, I just want to remove one specific thing. And here there are two ways, either removing by value using the method remove, or you say I don't care about the value, I know exactly where to remove. So I'm going to remove by position using the pop method. And of course, by default, you're going to remove the last item. But if you use an index, you could go, for example, and remove the first item. So that now you have enough tools to clean up your list by removing old data or maybe duplicate data. And in the worst scenario, removing bad data from your list. All right, friends, now we're going to go to the last operation that you could do on your list. We can go and update our data. So now again, after you analyze and check your data, you might find something wrong, maybe duplicates or let's say corrupt data. But this time you say, you know what? I don't want to go and throw it away from the list. Actually, there is a chance to fix it. So all what you have to do is to go and update the content of my data and then everything gonna be fine. Or maybe the data itself changed over the time. Like for example, the customer has a new email, or maybe the price of the products got updated to something higher, or maybe your employee just moved from one city to another city. So that means data always get changed over time and we have to learn how to update it. So that means, my friends, we're gonna learn now how to keep our list up to date. So let's dive in. Okay, so now the question is how we can update the value of an item in a list in Python. Well, we don't have a dedicated method to update values. Instead, we can use the assign operator. So all what you have to do is to specify for Python what should be changed using the brackets and the indexing. So here, for example, the index 2, and then use the equal operator and then tell Python what is the new value. So once you do that, Python gonna go to the position number 2, remove the old value and add the new value. So with that, you have updated the content of the index number 2. So that's it. All what you are doing here is actually overriding the value. Okay, so let's try this out with our nice example here. I would like to update the value of the first item with a new value. So all what you have to do is first specify the index number. The first value gonna be the 0. And now in order to assign the new value, we use the equal and then specify whatever you want, like for example, an X. Let's try this out. Now look at the output. Instead of A, we have X. So we didn't add, we didn't remove anything, we just updated the content of the list. Same thing if you want to update the next one, you're gonna say letters 1 equal, for example, Y. So let's try this out. With that, we updated the second item. And of course, be careful what you are updating. So for example, if you go and say letters are equal to Z without specifying an index at all, and if you run it, you will see in the output, we will get Z. So we don't have anymore any list. And if you go and print the type now of the letters, so let's execute, you can see now the variable is actually a string value and we don't have anymore a list. So we have updated the content of the whole variable. So letters is not anymore a list, it is now a string value. So be careful what you are updating. If you just want one value, you have to specify an index, otherwise you are updating the whole list. So now, as usual, we have to practice always with the matrix. Now, let's say that I would like to go and update actually the last list. So all the values are wrong and I would like to get a new list instead of those values. So we're gonna say matrix, and now we have to be careful. If I leave it like this, what's gonna happen? We're gonna update the whole matrix. We don't need that. I want to update the last row. So we have to tell Python about that. Now the last row, either you say 2 or I like to have the -1. And now what can happen for the last row? We are assigning completely new values. So we're gonna say X, Y, and Z. So that's it. Let's try this out. Now as you can see in the output, the last list has now new values. So Python did remove this list and replaced it with the new one that we assigned. Easy, right? Now let's go to the next level. I would like to update one specific value in specific row. So for example, let's update the first value of the first list. So let's go and do that. And since we are talking about the first item, it's going to be as well 0. So now we are targeting the first item in the first list. And we're going to go and assign, for example, I'm going to go with like special character -. So let's try this out. Now look at this. The first item of the first row is now changed. Now let's go and target this middle one over here. It's gonna be simple. Matrix. We are speaking about the row number 1 and we are speaking about the value at the position number 1 as well. So let's go and give it another -, and execute. As you can see, the middle value as well changed. Now let's go to the last one. I would like to update the last value in the last list. It's gonna be matrix -1, and we give it a -. So let's execute. With that, we change as well the last item of the last list. So as you can see, it is fun, it is easy. You can easily update a matrix in Python. Alright friends, so that's it. This is how you can update and correct your data. And with that, my friends, we have learned everything on how to modify and change the original data of your list by adding, removing, and updating. And this is of course very important as the data change over the time. So if you liked this video and you would like to have more free content like this, then support the channel by subscribing, liking, commenting. This really can help the channel to grow and to reach others like you. So thank you so much for watching and I will see you in the next video.